Hey, it's a great day. I'm Mark Imperial. Welcome to the program. And as you know, this is the show where we spotlight noteworthy people, places, and things, professionals serving their clients at the highest level all around the country and most importantly in your town. I've got a great lineup of professionals for you to meet on the show today as we are live now on the Facebook Live ethers and Periscope and all over the place. So I'm a little neurotic, as you might imagine. So joining me in the studio all the way from our own town here, Naperville, Illinois, I want to welcome Chuck Millington from Millington Financial Advisors. Chuck, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
So Chuck, tell us a little bit about your practice and specifically the type of folks that you like to help the most.
So our practice is located here in Naperville. We have an office in downtown Naperville. We focus quite a bit on the community, and our focus is to help individuals and families meet their financial goals by building out custom solutions. So our whole practice is built around the individual, understanding who they are and understanding what their desires and goals are for their future, and then helping them achieve those goals.
Have things changed over the years? Is there anything different today than it was before that people have to be on the lookout for?
Sure. I mean, obviously, technology is getting involved in everything we do. So there's technology that gives us the information that we need in order to feel comfortable to either stay invested or maybe think about pulling a little bit back on the risk. And that information being utilized on a routine basis helps people feel more comfortable about either staying invested or perhaps thinking about getting a little bit more conservative. So all that information being at the ready and being available is great for our use and for our clients to feel more comfortable about what they can do in order to achieve their goals.
What do you find is like the biggest thing on your prospective clients' minds when they come to see you? Is there something that jumps out at you, a big, hairy, audacious problem that they're worried about?
So it's often difficult to kind of segregate the headline news from what's actually happening in the economy. And so headline news is coming at you, and most of the time the news is trying to grab your attention by feeding into your fears. And so feeding into the fears leads people to be concerned about whether or not it's appropriate to stay invested. And what we try to do is to help people feel comfortable that their plan is in place to help them again, achieve their goals, but to achieve their goals in such a manner that they can sleep well at night, understanding what risks they're taking and how those risks are helping them eventually get to where they want to go, and segregating that headline news from what's actually happening in the economy and how their portfolio is going to perform in different situations.
Do you find a lot of people trying to take this task of managing their finances? Do they try to do it themselves? Is that a big mistake, or what's the undertaking there? What does that look like?
I mean, it could be. You never know. I mean, it's all about, I'm not very good around the house, and I know better than to try and tackle things that are beyond my capabilities, which is a pretty long list when we get into home repairs. So I'm happy to hire that out, and there's several people out there that enjoy digging into the minutia of what's going on in the economy. And that might work well for them. It's really kind of a self-reflection on what do you desire, and what are you interested in getting involved in? What are the things that you want to do with your time? And then the other aspect that a lot of people start to appreciate is perhaps they start to fear their own demise. Is how is my direct knowledge with what's going on in my portfolio? How's that going to translate when perhaps I'm not around, or I might have diminished capacity? And so having another trusted individual in your life to help, whoever it is that you want to make sure is taken care of after you might lose some capabilities or, God forbid, leave the earth, having those trusted individuals around is really important for a lot of people as they start to, age.
What's been the most challenging, client that you've worked with? Obviously, don't name them, but like an experience.
Well, John Smith, I tell you,
like an experience, or have you seen a big mistake that was made? What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes?
The biggest, and it's something that you see time and time again. It's when markets take a pullback and you see a 5 to 10% correction in what is fundamentally a healthy economy, and that 5 or 10% pullback causes people to make irrational decisions, and that might mean pulling out of the equity markets and getting into, or stock market, and getting into fixed income or bonds at the wrong time. So it's the old adage, buy low, sell high. And what we try and do is to help people understand what the economy is really like at the fundamental level. And when the headline news gets in the way and perhaps creates a drawdown, understand, does that drawdown mean that we should take action, or is this a drawdown that's okay with the environment that we're in? And so the biggest mistake I think people make is that they don't appropriately recognize how they're going to react in that 5 or 10% correction period.
So Chuck, you're obviously passionate about the actual financial market. So how did you get started? What inspired you?
Well, that's a good question. So I have a family history of the financial services industry. So watching my father get involved, he's actually involved, we work together. So he's involved with Millington Financial Advisors as well. So kind of growing up around it and, started off, I'm a CPA and eventually got my CFP, so Certified Financial Planner, Certified Public Accountant. I've really been drawn to numbers my entire life. And what is drawing me towards the financial advisory space is that interaction with people, because everything that is important to everybody kind of revolves around money. And so if you can be there to help them understand how they can position their resources to help them achieve their goals, it's a pretty rewarding experience and something that I've really enjoyed quite a bit. And, I have 3 boys of my own and hope someday that, maybe they'll get involved in that as well.
Oh, right on. So is there something that I may have not thought of to ask that you wish that I would have asked you, that the audience, that you wish they would know?
It's, some of the tips or so that for retirement planning, you hear people get focused on their age, and their age becomes their basis for determining kind of asset allocation. And, what we see time and time again that's probably more important for people is not necessarily focusing on their age, but understanding their own personal financial situation. If they can get a clear understanding of what their living expenses look like, and they can compare that against what their retirement income looks like, they can start to appreciate, okay, how am I going to have to count on my investment portfolio in order to bridge that gap between the income I'm going to have during retirement and then those expenses associated with the life I kind of want to live. And if that gap's large, then you need to build the portfolio differently. If the gap's kind of tight and it's not necessarily that big, perhaps you can seek more growth. But understanding your own personal financial situation and how that is really the antithesis of what you should be building your portfolio around is key. It's not however old you are. Age is one factor, but it's not the only factor.
And I'd imagine this is something that you work with your clients on in their initial consultations.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything that we, before we get into any kind of conversations around investments, it's the whole focus is, kind of getting that CPA hat back on and building out personal financials. What does the net worth schedule look like? What does their cash flow schedule look like? What do their future cash flow schedule look like? What are kind of the unique things that are coming up that they might want to plan for? Once you have that all laid out, then you can start to talk about, okay, what's the portfolio allocation? What should it look like? How should this pocket of money work for you? And what is the length of time that you should think about having this stay invested before you begin to get involved in maybe some riskier asset classes?
Right on. So Chuck, how do folks listening in, if they wanted to meet you, get to know more, or even have a consultation with you, how do they get a hold of you?
So, a phone number, right? 630-922-7900 is our main office line. You can view us on the web at millingtonfa.com, so millingtonfrankapple.com. And, give us a call. Happy to try and schedule an appointment. We always give free consultations for initial meetings, and then from there kind of build out, whether or not it makes sense to continue a relationship. It's in each party's best interest, and, we'll work it out from there.
Awesome. Hey, Chuck, it's been terrific having you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy week to share with us today.
It's been great. Thanks again. An honor.
And I wish you continued success for you and all of your clients.
Well, thanks again.
Thanks so much. I'm Mark Imperial. This is ReMARKable Radio, and we're going to be back with our next guest in just a minute.